NEHAO has been at odds with the department since the pandemic hit. The friction centers around the provision of PPEs, managing the safety of health workers, and now the quality of management staff. The union is demanding a skills audit for the health department.
So we are saying to the Premier, you are given now the opportunity to take the right decision and hire a person with the requisite and the necessary skills to give a strategic direction to this department. So we are calling upon you, Premier, to assist us, all of us in this province, that we can take the necessary decision before it is too late.
NEHAO has been expressing its grievances with a number of sport protests by its members at health institutions during the past 2 months. SABC News understands that the relationship between the union and the health SG is now at an all-time low.
I think the frustration is that many of the things that they have hoped to happen are not happening as fast as we can. We can't deal with the fear of the staff other than providing lessons and teaching to them. And I think the second one is that the MEC also has put up a big structure. And unfortunately, they've moved out of that structure, so they've not really been closer to the issues that we have.
NEHAO also announced this week that it plans to withdraw its labor for a day across the country on the 21st of August. It also encourages members to file for a day's leave on that day. More than 3,500 healthcare workers in the Eastern Cape have contracted the virus since the outbreak of the pandemic. Yanga Funani, SABC News in the Eastern Cape.
Well, on the 5th of May 2019, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the era of impunity is over and that we're entering an era of accountability. We are entering an era of consequences, what was said by the President. Well, leadership expert Dr. Mazwe Majola says that it is very sad and unfortunate that we have not witnessed this era of accountability and consequence. Instead, the culture of impunity and lawlessness has persisted unabated. Dr. Mazwe Majola now joins us via Skype for this conversation. A very good afternoon to you, Dr. Majola. Always good to see you here on SABC News.
Good day, Flo, and good day to all the viewers of SABC. Thank you very much.
You've said that there is a clear evidence and proof that we are in a leaderless country. Talk to us about what you believe to be that evidence or proof that we are in this crisis because of a lack of leadership, as you put it.
We are nowhere near to the culture of accountability. We are actually still ruled by the culture of impunity, and that talks to the leadership of this country. We are led by the president who is so cautious in his decisions. He practices cautious leadership styles. He's not bold enough. He's not strong enough to take unpopular decisions. He's very cautious when he does this. And as a result, people are continuing doing whatever they do with impunity. We can see what is happening in KZN, in Eastern Cape, here in Gauteng, where lawlessness it's really continuing unabated, and it's very, very unfortunate, and it's shameful and disgrace, and it's very embarrassing to the ANC government.
Dr. Majola, is being cautious a negative thing, though? I mean, in the past administration, and you'll remember, we'd often wake up to hear that, you know, for instance, ministers have been reshuffled overnight. We'd hear of midnight reshuffles, and there was a lot of criticism about the fact that, you know, that particular president was very abrupt in his way of doing things, and things would happen very suddenly. You're using this word of being cautious as something quite negative. Can you go into that for us?
Leadership is about balancing polarities. It's a balancing act. Yes, as a leader, you don't need to be impulsive, but at the same time, you don't need to be passive. You don't need to be reckless, and at the same time, you don't need to be lackluster. So you've got to balance those things. You don't need to be too cautious when you take decisions, because leadership is about decision making. So you've got to be decisive and you've got to take actions. Leadership is not about talk show. You are not judged about what you said. You are assessed by what you have done. Leadership without works is dead. So a great leader is someone who will implement things, who will lead by example and model what he says, and other people will follow suit. But you can talk and talk and talk, as long as there are no actions, your leadership is dead.
Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa did say that the era of impunity is over, that this is an era where, there are consequences for wrongdoing. According to you, Dr. Majola, as a leadership expert, as you read about, the disregard for public funds, irregular tenders, how do you believe in recent days that the president should really act now towards those close to him? I mean, these are people that are close to the president, and really send a strong message that he meant it when he said that this is an era where wrongdoing will not actually be tolerated. How does he show that these, as you were saying now, that these are not just words, but in fact there will be action? Where should he start in doing so and show us that this is not just lip service?
Now, as a leader, number one, you've got to be surrounded by correct people, by competent people, by ethical people, and by responsible and disciplined people. So as you appoint the people who will surround you, you've got to find those people. And for him, it's better because he's the one who hires and fires cabinet ministers. So he's got the opportunity to find people he wants. Two, you've got to provide to those people with relevant resources so that they should do their jobs unhindered. The president is being let down by the people who are running certain institutions, like the NPA. The NPA has been saying that they don't have sufficient resources, and the Hawks and the others, until people are arrested and prosecuted, people will continue to loot public funds, and people will continue with the culture of impunity. So the president must show leadership by making sure that he funds the right people, ethical people, people who will do whatever they do, irrespective of any decisions that they may face. But also he must surround, or rather he must provide relevant resources for those people. I think we've got policies. Policies just need to be implemented. We don't have implementers. That's what we need in this country.
Well, wouldn't it be difficult then for the president really to, as you put it, surround himself with those correct people? There is this perception that the president or presidents that come out of the ANC would usually appoint people who help them to ascend to power into those leadership positions, that you kind of owe those people those certain positions, even if the president were to kind of reflect on the people that work with him, that are with him. Might it not be difficult for him to kind of get rid of these people who might have actually propelled him to the seat of power that he's in at the moment?
That is the problem with the ANC, because they spend so much time in managing and entertaining factionalism and cronyism at the expense of South Africans. We need a principled leader, a leader who will make decisions irrespective of what other people would say, as long as that decision is correct and it's ethical. Unfortunately, the president is taking time to nurse and to entertain the internal politics of the ANC, that when he takes this decision, it will be against him. So until we find those principled and values-driven leaders who are bold and daring, who make decisions unpopular, even not easy, but they make those decisions. Unfortunately, we are not going anywhere. We are still going to be an embarrassment and a humiliation in the whole world. Just now, we have seen that with the COVID-19 funds, it has just taken just a month or 2 months, and then corruption has erupted. So that's a disgrace. It shows that people are just doing whatever they need to do, and they know there won't be any consequences.
Now, has the president indeed sort of failed then to instill a sense with those he works with, those in his cabinet and so forth, about the issue of accountability, or does he still have time and a chance to redeem himself and the government to show the South African public that indeed there is this accountability in his government? Is it too far gone at this stage, or is there room for perhaps making things right, or have people really sort of lost confidence?
I think people have lost confidence, and he will have to work very hard to restore trust, because trust is the foundation of leadership. He must change how he does things, and he must come to a stage where he lead the country, of course respecting his party, because it's the party that has deployed him there. However, as long as he's still fierce and scared to make tough decisions because fearing the consequences from his own party, he's not going to go anywhere. And the whole ANC is going down. Really, people are like losing hope and are losing confidence because of this ill-disciplined and indecisiveness that is prevailing within the organization.
All right, Dr. Mazwe Majola, thank you very much, as always, for your time here on SABC News. We do appreciate it. That's Dr. Mazwe Majola, leadership expert. Thank you, sir.